Hello friends, welcome to your channel Aru Geometrics. Today, today's lecture we will start the unit 2, in which we will study about the GNSS and their components. And in this unit we will study about the GPS segments and the introduction of the GNSS. And we already know there are three types of GPS segments, so we can say their components. So first one is the space segment, control segment, user segment. We have overview in the previous lectures, but today we will explain these three segments. After that, in this unit we will study the important part of the GPS, in which first one is the principle of GPS operation, under which we will study about their signal structure, positioning services, because we know that we have heard about the PPS and SPS. So SPS is the standard positioning service, PPS is the precise positioning service, and which is better than in these two positioning service. So everything about this positioning service we will study in the upcoming lectures, and after that we will find out the pseudo range measurements, carrier phase measurements, what is the concept of trilateration, and how we can calculate the current locations of GPS satellite, which is known as the ephemeris data. So all the status of these topics we will study in upcoming lectures, and in this unit we will also study about the distance calculation between the satellites and the GPS receivers. Actually, we know that the distance is calculated with the help of timing information data provided in the signal which are transmitted by the satellite. So we know the concept of to calculating the distance and why this distance is important for our position calculation. So we will study in this unit, and we know that the distance is calculated between the antennas of the satellite and receiver, but we can assume that this is the distance between the unknown point and satellite. So all these concepts we will follow in this unit 2. After that we also calculate the unknown location, means we will calculate the receiver's 3D position, means x, y and z information, and what we with a formula, and we will use a single concept of the GPS receiver, in which he calculate the distance between the receiver and satellite, but that distance is used for calculating the position, means unknown position, which is xyz. And in starting we have calculated, or we know the current position, means their location of the satellite in the orbit period. Orbital information we already know about the satellites, so that x1, y1 and z1, we can assume the location or coordinates of the satellites, and these x1, y1, z1 and this distance calculation between the receiver and the satellite is used to calculate the unknown location, that is xyz. And there are minimum 4 satellites are required, because there is a time component. So for this time component calculation we require another unknown equation, one another equation. So for that equation we require minimum 4 satellites, and this time information is very important for our precision calculation, 3D position calculation. After that, by using those formulas we will calculate our position, and after that calculation of our 3D position we will study about the types of GPS receivers, because we know that every receiver does not receive every signal data transmitted by the satellites. So on the basis of their frequency these receivers are classified, and also on the basis of their accuracy. This classification of GPS receiver we will study in the upcoming lecture and in this unit. After that we will study about the GPS data formats, means in what data we can find out, or we can get the output from the GPS. After that, as we have studied in the previous lecture, means sources of the error in the GPS or GNSS system. So these sources of error we will explain in every type of sources of error that reduce our accuracy in the position calculation. So what are the sources of error? As we have know, selective availability, we will brief in this unit. After that, satellite geometry, satellite orbits, multi-effect path, multi-path effect, atmospheric effects means ionospheric and tropospheric delay, clock inaccuracies and rounding error, and relativistic effect. This effect is related to the relative motion. So all these things or all the sources of error we will study in the unit 2. So this is the index of the unit 2 and we will cover this unit in upcoming lectures. Today we will study and we will cover only two parts. First one is the introduction, as we already know about the GNSS, but another important things about the GNSS will be discussed today. And after that we will study three types of, or we can say, components of GNSS. And what are the components of GNSS? One is the user segment, second is the space segment, third one is the control segment. So all these three segments we will discuss in brief today. So as we know, what is the GNSS? GNSS is the Global Navigation Satellite System. So this is the constellation of satellites. And what are these examples? Means GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, BEDO, Gagan, or we can say IRNSS, Compass system, QZNSS. So all these are the GNSS of different countries. And but we know only about the GPS. But this is the subset of the GNSS. And GPS is the Global Positioning Service and it was developed by the US. In the parallelly, GLONASS was also developed along with the GPS and they cover the global, means anywhere, any point on the earth surface can be navigated with the help of GPS or GLONASS. Similarly, Galileo is developed by the Europe, and we know that there is a huge development, or we can say spectacular technology development in the GNSS phase, and in related with the development, it is very reliable or very rapid for the determination of users location or their position. So now we will discuss about the satellite navigation methods which are used for determining the position of users location anywhere on the earth very precisely. So in this unit we will study about the GPS segments and how, what is the principle of the GPS operation, means how he calculate the distance or from the receiver to the satellite, and on that basis how he can calculate, means GPS can calculate our position accurately. So these coordinates calculation or the formula that are used and their principle which are used to calculate the our position we will study in this unit. So today we will study about the GPS segments. As we already know, there are three types of segment. First one is the space segment, second is the control segment, third is the user segment. And this segment considers the whole part of the GPS operation. And we know that with the help of the GPS, we can calculate our positioning and navigationing, or we can say our timing information very accurately with the help of some type of receivers. So this GPS help us to calculate the position in 3-dimensional and the time observed in the receiver clock, because satellite clock and receiver clock has to be synchronized for the calculation. So we require minimum 4 satellites, as we already discussed that minimum 4 satellites are required for our positioning calculation very precisely, because one component of the time information has to be calculated. So there are three types of segments. First one is the space segment, means the component that are available in the space, that is satellite vehicles comes under the space segment. And second is the control segment. It considers the ground stations which monitor and control the satellites or the components of the GPS. So these stations again are classified as the master control stations, some are the monitor stations, and ground antenna also covered into the control segment. So third one is the user segment, means the user GPS receiver. As we have mobile phone and it has the GPS receiver, so we which calculate the unknown position are considered under the user segment. And in this user means which uses the GPS receiver is the user segment, and all civilian and military users are the user segment. So first one is the space segment. So first of all, we have to understand that these three components or segments are not similar for all the types of GNSS or GNSS examples, such as GPS, GLONASS, Galileo. All these, if we compare all these three GNSS examples, then everybody has the different space segment, different control segment, because they are developed by different countries. So but these GNSS examples will have the only three components: space segment and their control segment and the user segment. But the properties of the space segment will be different for all the different GNSS examples. So today we are discussing about the GPS, global positioning system, which are developed by the US. So for the GPS satellites, means the GPS satellites which are orbiting into the space comes under the space segment, and these space, space segment or GPS satellites has total 24 satellites, and this is the combination of 6 into 4, means 6 are the orbits and 4 are the satellites in each orbit, so equal to 24. But in starting it was 8 into 3, means 3 were the circular orbit and 8 was the satellites in one orbit. But after modification there are 6 orbit and 4 satellites in each orbit, so 6 into 4 is equal to 24. After achieving the 24 satellites, it was fully functional and it covered the globally. So we will discuss about the only 24 satellites, but I think nowadays there are total 32 satellites into the GPS segment. So this question can be asked that there are total 6 orbits with 4 satellites each for the GPS space segment. Now these orbits are managed so that at least 6 satellites are always within the line of sight from almost anywhere on the Earth surface, because we know these satellites are adjusted in such a way that at every point on the Earth surface there are minimum 6 satellites that are visible at that point. So we can easily calculate the our position, because we require minimum 4 satellites. That's why we say that GPS is fully developed and cover the globally. Now these satellites has the some altitude above the Earth surface. And what is the altitude? Because this is altitude is important to know. This altitude for the GPS satellites is approximately 20,200 km, and these satellites has the inclination of 55 degree, and this inclination is with respect to the equator, because this is the Earth and this is the equator. So these are the orbits that are revolving around the Earth, and these orbits have approximately 55 degree inclination, and these orbits altitude is the 20,200 km. So we can say that all the GPS satellites revolve into the MEO, means medium Earth orbit. So not only for the GPS but for the GNSS examples such as GLONASS, Galileo, all these navigational satellites are orbited into the medium Earth orbit, means they have approximately 20,000 km altitude. So along with this information there is another information about the orbital period of the satellites, which is 11 hour 58 minutes. So we can say that they cover one point onto the Earth's surface twice into a day. So these information are very important regarding GPS, and these can be asked into the exam. Now the space vehicles send the radio signals from the space, and each GPS satellite transmitting a signal which consists carrier frequencies, and there are two types of carrier frequencies, L1 and L2, and two digital ranging codes, C by E and P code, and one navigational message. And this navigational message consist the coordinate information about the satellites which are required for our position calculation. And these carrier frequencies and ranging codes has information about the time information and speed of the uh, transmitter signal. So we can easily calculate the distance between the GPS receiver and the satellites. So these two information means satellites coordinate information are which is a function of time, and that is provided by the navigational message, and the frequencies and codes are used for distance calculation between the GPS receiver and satellite. So these two information are required for our unknown position XYZ calculation. So if we want to know our unknown position, then we have to decode this transmitter signal, and this transmitter signal is decoded by our GPS receiver automatically, because they has some information, or we can say some software. So this transmitter signal are controlled very high accurate atomic clocks on board the satellites. So satellites has very high precise clocks as compared to the GPS receiver, so they have to be synchronized with the same time information, and for that error or synchronization error, one time component has to be calculated, and for that time calculation we have to require another extra satellites. So we require minimum 4 satellite for our position calculation, and this GPS was used to locate the enemy at the time of the during World War II, which decide means where is the crowd, or so they can attack there for large destruction. So this GPS was helpful for deciding whether to attack or retreat depending on the size of forces. And we know that GPS was mainly developed for the military purpose, but nowadays it is very helpful for civilian also. The signal data is into the radio signal, and we know that radio frequency, or we can say radio waves, has the high wavelength, so they can be easily passed through the clouds, glass, or plastics. So most solid buildings decrease the power of signal, and the signal cannot pass through the object that contain a lot of metal or object that contain lot of water. So when we have to require our position calculation, then we it should be more in contact with the satellites. So if we want to know our location information under a roof, or we can say into the building, then it will be less accurate than into the open area, because power of signal which are transmitted from the satellites will be less as compared to the open area, and this power is also reduced into the water body. So each GPS satellite is powered by a solar energy, and if solar energy is unavailable, suppose the satellite is in the Earth's shadow, then its backup batteries are used for their continuous running. And this is the information or image of the GPS orbiters and their satellites. And in this diagram, we can easily see that there are 6 orbits: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So 6 orbits are there, and each orbit has 4 satellites. So there are total 24 satellites. Now this is the signal data transmitted by the satellites, which consist two types of frequencies. First is the L1 carrier, which has 1575.42 megahertz. Second is the L2 carrier, which has the 1227.6 megahertz, and two types of codes, C by A code at the different frequency, and P code, which has 10 times approximately more frequency than the C by A code. and P code is more precise. We will study about these carrier frequencies and codes. And one is the navigational message, and this navigation message consists the coordinate information about the satellites. We can say ephemeris data. So this is the signal that are transmitted by the satellites, and these signals are decoded by the receivers to calculate our unknown position. Now second is the control segment. So this control segment consists mainly two types of stations. Some are the monitor stations and one is the master control station. So master control station is available into the same country that are develop the GNSS system. So for the GPS system, this master control station is available into the US. Now this control segment is very important because we know that satellites are revolving around the earth and into a fixed orbit, but this orbit has some variation, or their location information has to be variated due to the some gravitational forces that are available into the space with the because of the moon or sun. So this due to this gravitational forces or with the earth, there may be some variation and these satellite information will be changed. So for monitoring, to find out their variation is very important. So this monitoring and controlling of these satellites are done into the control segment with the help of the monitor station, and these stations monitor the information, constantly monitor the satellite health, signal integrity and the orbital configuration from the ground. So this control segment consists monitor station, master control station and ground antenna. And we know that monitor station monitors the satellites. We can say their health of the satellite. So for the GPS, it consists 6 unmanned stations, and each stations control monitors and receive information from the GPS satellites vehicles, and then sends the orbital and clock information to the master station. So here we can say that they monitor the satellites, but controlling is done with the help of master control station. So the information that are collected by the monitor station has to be transferred or transmitted to the master control station. So the information, monitoring information about the orbital and clock information or their health information are transmitted to the master control station. So it contacts the GPS satellites, means each GPS satellites regularly, or we can say twice into a day. In a day, it is regularly monitored twice. So these GPS satellites information are considered with the navigational update. So master control stations use the ground antenna for the contacting GPS satellites from the earth surface to the space. So the coordinate information and the time information of the satellites, we can say the atomic clocks that are used into the, for the satellites has the accuracy up to nanoseconds. So if there is any variation, it is corrected, or we can find out the coordinate of the satellites on the basis of variation. So this variation has to be transmitted for the to the receivers for accurate position. So the controllers that are available into the master control stations make the precise correction to the data if there is any variation, or their orbital information is to be known very accurately. And this data information has to be sent to GPS satellites, which is known as the ephemeris data. It is important terminology, ephemeris data. So which is required for the accurate GPS calculation by the receivers, and this information transmitted to the satellites from the ground is done with the help of ground antenna. So there are mainly 4 ground antenna which receive the corrected orbital and clock information from the satellite. So master control the satellite, but it require monitor stations and ground antenna for contacting the GPS satellite that are available into the space segment. So this is the space segment which consists GPS satellites, ground antenna, consists the monitor stations and control station. And this is the user segment which use the GPS receiver. So the flight path of the satellites that are tracked by a number of dedicated US Air Force monitoring stations along with shared network ground antennas, NGA monitoring stations in the England, Argentina, Ecuador, Bahrain, Australia and Washington DC for the US GPS constellation. So we have to know that master control station must be in the US and monitor station may be in different countries for the proper monitoring of the satellites, and these monitor station send the information means they are about coordinate information and time information to the master control station, and that master control station use the GPS ground antenna to contact the GPS satellites, and that data means about their coordinate and ephemeris data has to be sent to their satellites for accurate position calculation, and this is done with the help of ground antenna. Now this third one is the user segment. We already know the GPS receiver comes under the user segment which use the transmitter signal by the satellites for their calculation of the position. That segment is the user segment. So if we use our mobile phone which has the GPS receiver is also the user segment. So we means civilian or we can say military comes under the user segment. So the user segment of the user considers the GPS receiver handset means if we use the GPS receiver then we comes under the user segment. So the GPS receiver receives the signal which are broadcasted by the satellites, and this GPS receiver converts the signal into three-dimensional position means x, y, z, or we can say latitude, longitude and altitude of any point on the earth surface. So a GPS receiver is mostly described by the number of channels or satellites it can communicate simultaneously. So this point we will study into the types of GPS receivers which are classified on the basis of their frequency or we can say their accuracy, or it is also classified on the basis of number of channels. So it can communicate simultaneously means single frequency, dual frequency. So there are different types of GPS receiver we will study in upcoming lectures. Now on that basis we can choose the type of receiver on the basis of our requirement means what for what purpose we are using the GPS means for surveying or for any military purpose. So we have to require the GPS receiver on the basis of accuracy requirement. So this GPS receivers comes under the user segment. Now we will study about second point into the upcoming lecture, next lecture. If you have any doubt in this lecture, you can comment and you can join us on our Telegram channel and WhatsApp channel, and you will find out the related cues and notes on our Telegram channel. So please like, share and subscribe the channel and do preparation for GATE Geometrics with the Haru Geometrics.